English 462. I'm going to be reading for you two poems today that I love, and they seem kind of far-fetched, but they do connect, I promise. So the first one I'm going to read is Freedom Bracket 1. And when I read this one, I kind of hear it in two different voices. The first half of it, I hear it in the voice of my grandma, right there. She's such a sweetheart. She loves her Martinelli's apple cider. She thinks it's alcohol because it's bubbly. The second half, I kind of hear it in the voice of my mom. My sweetheart little mom. Looks like a doll as young as she is, me and my sister. So, let me go ahead and cue in. Just read it straight out and I'll explain to you why it stands out to me. So, Grandma. Freedom will not come today, this year, nor ever, through compromise and fear. I have as much right as the other fellow has to stand on my 2 feet and own land. I tire so of hearing people say, let things take their course, tomorrow is another day. I do not need freedom when I'm dead. I cannot live on tomorrow's bread. Freedom is a strong seed, planted in a great need. I live here too, I want freedom just as you. Now, this poem stands out. When I hear it in my grandma's voice, it's important. I guess that's the best way to kind of break it down for me. I feel like Langston Hughes is breaking it down to where the first part is more of the foundation. It's knowing who you are as a person and not compromising that. You know, it's if you set down the foundation for a new building, for a new house or whatever, you want it to be strong. You know, if anything happens, an earthquake, any type of natural disaster, something breaks you down, I guess it can't break you down. The stronger the foundation, the stronger chances you have of surviving. The second half is more building the actual structure itself. And if you don't stay steadfast, if you don't stay strong in your structure, then it's going to be like the case with the 3 little pigs. You want your house built out of brick. You don't want it built out of straw, because if something comes along and questions you and what you stand for, you're going to be blown to shreds pretty much, and, you know, can't have that. Yeah, so the first part, freedom won't come through compromise and fear. You have to be strong. You have to be steadfast. You can't have it off of shaky concepts, shaky morals. Otherwise, it's not really freedom. At that point, it's more of just a bargaining chip for certain civil liberties and rights and whatnot that don't really add up to a whole. They're just little components. I have as much right as the other fellow has to stand on my own 2 feet, no land. You know, coming into a country where it was founded by immigrants, you can't really say that this land, that any one person is more entitled than the next person to it. So, you know, freedom is going to be there. It has to be a free concept allowed to any and all. The next part, I cannot tell you how many times I've heard my mom go off on things like this. I tire so of hearing people say, let things take their course, tomorrow's another day. I don't need freedom when I'm dead. I can't live on tomorrow's bread. You know, I don't want to, like, put words into Hugh's mouth, but I can see how this can be relatable for anybody coming into this country, anybody trying to get a start where there's any type of prejudice held against them. You know, my mom came into this country and there were empty promises made to her, and it's not something that you can sit there and sulk over and be like, oh, what am I going to do? This was promised to me, you know, and I don't have it, I still don't have it. Just like, you know, when blacks were allowed to vote, but then look at all the different laws that were passed to try to get them from voting. You know, you have to have a certain education requirement, you have to have a certain, you know, social status. It's empty promises are not going to guarantee your rights. You have to fight for it. You know, freedom is a strong seed, planted in a great need. I live here too, I want freedom just as you. My sister and I, for my family, are the seeds that they planted here. We were born here. We are what they look forward to here. This is the only home that we know, so, you know, it's like we were born into it. There's still some stuff that we have to fight, being born the family that migrated here, they didn't really have a choice, but it doesn't mean that you stop fighting for that. You know, it doesn't mean that it makes it any easier for my mom or my grandma to fight for their freedoms, because there's still that prejudice. But they never give up. Just because they were promised something that they never got, they still stand up and say, I'm here. I'm a citizen. Can't really take that away from me, because you might as well just take it away from yourself if you're gonna contradict yourself. The second poem I was gonna read, I Dream a World, because I thought it related to my sister and I. It's just a short little, I dream a world where man, no other man will scorn, where love will bless the earth and peace its path adorn. I dream a world where all will know sweet freedom's way, where greed no longer saps the soul, no avarice blights our day. A world I dream where black or white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth, and every man is free, where wretchedness will hang its head, and joy, like a pearl, attends the needs of all mankind. Of such I dream my world. At first I thought, this is a great poem for us, because it kind of like breaks down, and for me that's a big thing, is, you know, the different generations overcoming different trials and tribulations, and it's a good positive upbeat one. But after reading through more of the poems, I realized this one is just more of the starting point. It's the breaking point. You can start off with a dream, but if you just sit there and dream about it all day, it's going to be fickle, and you know, you can't really get done just dreaming. You actually have to put into effort. So the one that stood out to me after this, and it was kind of in a funny way, is Madame and the Fortune Teller. This one for me is a little bit more realistic. It's not too long, so I'll read it real quick. Fortune Teller looked in my hand. Fortune Teller said, Madame, it's just good luck, you ain't dead. Fortune Teller squeezed my hand. She squinted up her eyes. Fortune Teller said, Madame, you ain't wise. I said, please explain to me what you mean by that. She said, you must recognize where your fortune's at. I said, Madame, tell me, for she was Madame too. Where is my fortune at? I'll pay some mine to you. She said, your fortune, honey, lies right in yourself. You ain't gonna find it on nobody else's shelf. I said, what man you talking about? She said, Madame, be calm. For $1.50 more, I'll read your other palm. So this one, when you first read it, it's kind of a fickle little pickle, and you think, okay, so this person's looking for answers, and it's right there in front of them, and she's painting it out right there for you. I guess it's not so much the fortune teller, because that's not something a fortune teller would tell you, but it's Hugh speaking to you. He says straight out in here, it's just good luck, you're not dead, okay? And then you move on to the next one. Fortune teller said, Madame, you ain't wise. The third stanza, she said, you must recognize where your fortune's at. And then the person in the poem is just begging, where is my fortune at? I'll pay some mine to you. You know, I'll pay you for the answer. Just tell me where I find it. Tell me what I have to do, what the right place at the right time is. Fortune teller replies, you ain't gonna find it on nobody else's shelf. And it ends with the person still begging. And this one just kind of cracked me up a little bit, because, you know, tell me who hasn't been through some hardships in life. Tell me who hasn't been through struggles. And I went to a fortune teller when I was going through So I went to a fortune teller when I was dealing with a horrible job, horrible relationship. Everything just seemed crappy. I left school for a while, and it's still a struggle staying into it. But the most important part is that you kind of hit that point where you start questioning things. You start to question whether or not you're capable of achieving these dreams, whether you're capable of following them through. You wonder if the fortune's ever going to hit you. And you think you're just SOL. You are shit out of luck. And it's like, there's all different degrees of it. You have the fortune teller, you have your horoscopes, you have those little, what are they, these little things right here that you did in grade school where it's as simple as this. Pick a color, pick a number, ask the question, and the little finger thing is going to tell you. You roll some dice, you look at some tarot cards, you know, and it's even as simple as, you know, praying that something is going to happen right for you. And it's not always like that. And so I was going to go with the dream one, but then I realized that that one, like I said, is a little bit more on the whimsical notions. But the Madam and the Fortune Teller is more of that straight wake-up call that you need in order to start achieving those dreams. So it's kind of negative in this one because this person doesn't really get it, but at some point in life, hopefully, you come to the realization that your fortune isn't going to come to you unless you go and get it yourself. You can't keep looking in your palms for answers because that time you're distracting yourself from using the hands to make that fortune reality. And this applies, personally for me, it's not going to happen unless I put in the effort. And, there are days that are harder than others, but do you give up or do you keep fighting through it? It's the same for my mom and my grandma. Do you give up just because someone says they don't believe in you, or do you keep going because if you stop, you're not going to survive? I don't go to work. I don't pay my bills. There's not someone else to take care of you. In Langston Hughes' case, when he's writing this, I feel like he's writing this for everyone because you can't keep going to the gypsy lady. You can't keep going to the fortune cookies. You can't keep going to daily horoscopes and who knows what section it's in the newspaper these days. It's up to you to affect that change. If positive is going to happen, if the freedom is going to come, it's up to you to stand up and fight for it. No one else can do that but you. Yeah, people are going to try to bring you down, but stand up. So yeah, those were the poems that I had. I wish I was better at presenting, but thank you.